During the American occupation of Japan, a special diplomatic mission was sent to Tokyo. One member of that mission was a private citizen, John D. Rockefeller III, scion of the most powerful family in America. During the mission, Rockefeller was reunited with his old friend, Shigeharu Matsumoto. The two men first met in 1929, but the war changed their destinies.
They're not dreamers and visionaries. They had seen the hard, painful evidence of conflict and war.
After the war, in a devastated Japan, they found themselves working toward the same goal.
At that time, it was very, very important to change the wartime image of Japan into an image of a peaceful Japan.
It set a path for Japanese-American relations right at the time when you would least expect it, which is in the immediate aftermath of a brutal war.
This is a story of the friendship of two men and the reconciliation of two countries.
To move from hatred to nonviolence, and then to move from war to kinds of respect is very, very, very precious.
In 1936, however, Mao's line changes. He calls for unity against Japan. Rich and poor must stand together, an end to civil war. Nationalist, communist, warlord, all must stand as brothers against the alien threat. This new line appeals to millions, but not to Chiang Kai-shek. He, his inner councils, and his generals persist. Final mop-up of the communists must still go on, entrusted now to friendly warlords in the north. Yet mysteriously, this final mop-up stalls. The most important front against the communists is held by soldiers of Manchuria, driven out by Japanese. These homesick troops have little stomach for killing other Chinese. Led by young Marshal Zhang Suliang, they itch to tackle Japanese. In December 1936, Zhang flies off to see the young Marshal in Xi'an, to flog him on to sterner effort. In Xi'an, however, communists have convinced the young Marshal that civil war must stop.
Then there happens one of those episodes that sound as if they were written in the book of make-believe. And again, we have no photographs because no one invites a photographer to witness a kidnapping, which was what happened next. Zhang was there to urge them to fight the communists. And on the night of December 11th, he was sleeping in a villa outside of town when he was wakened by gunfire. And the young marshal and his troops were shooting their way into his villa and trying to kidnap him. Zhang was in his nightshirt and bare feet. He slipped out the back way, tried to climb over the wall, fell. He hurt his back. He lost his false teeth. His feet were bleeding as he ran over the rocks. And the young marshal's soldiers caught him and brought him back. It sounds mad, but that's the way China was, and it got even madder because when they brought him back, they invited the communists down from North Shanxi, and on December 15th, the communists, the young marshal and Zhang, all sat down to talk. The communists and the young marshal said to Chiang Kai-shek, it's time to end the civil war. We must all unite against the Japanese, or else. They could have killed him, but they didn't. And Chiang Kai-shek agreed. He would halt the civil war, and he would form a united front against the Japanese. And so on Christmas Day, they gave him a plane, and Chiang Kai-shek and the young marshal flew down to Nanking to announce the civil war was over. But Zhang had made no promises to the young marshal, so he imprisoned him immediately and kept him prisoner ever after, even to this day in exile on Formosa.
Christmas 1936. At Nanking, members of the government await their president's return. In pain, he hobbles out, announces to the world, a popular front of Kuomintang and communists will now, united under his command, turn to face the menace of Japan. Japan's imperial tradition has, however, a cardinal rule: always strike first. July 1937. The war is on. The Japanese now seek total conquest, not just another chunk of territory. They blast the heart of China in the Yangtze Valley, with Shanghai first to take the shock.